Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our fifth installment of the Wednesday webinar. And without further ado, we're going to quickly introduce our speakers today. And we're going to give just folks that are just joining in, they seem to be popping in really quickly, a chance to join in. But Melissa, would you like to take it away?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Melissa Newton. For those of you all who I have not ever met before, I work for the division office in Frankfurt with Greg on the training team. And so we're really happy to bring this next episode of our Wednesday webinar to you all. I do have a couple of things to share before I introduce the folks who are going to be talking with you today. The first thing I want to talk about is our Google Classroom for the Wednesday webinar. We are archiving these videos and posting up any materials that are shared by your fellow coordinators who are presenting. So if there's any handouts or instructions or anything, we're putting all of those into a Google Classroom so that you can access them at any time if you want to go back and look at things, or if you have colleagues who missed it and would like the information, they could go and check it out. So in the chat, I am going to put the information about the Google Classroom. And for those of you who have not used that in the past, you basically go to classroom.google.com. And then you enter in, let's see, did that go out? Okay, yeah. Classroom.google.com, and then you enter in that class code. So when you get to that website, in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a plus, and that's where you will add a class, and you enter that class code, and that'll give you access to what we're calling our episodes. So each Wednesday webinar is a separate episode, so you can go back and watch the videos and access any of the materials that were shared. The other thing I want to share with you all that came out of, I'm not sure if it was the last episode or the one before that, you know, we've done a whole lot of these on technology and Google products and having virtual classrooms. Well, one suggestion that we had was to have a place where you all could go and look at all of these. There are folks out there who are being incredibly creative with their virtual spaces. And so we set up a virtual gallery or a gallery of virtual centers. And so I've got the website address for that. Do a little copy and paste here again into the chat. So this is a Google site that I set up, and the homepage you'll see a lot of examples of virtual centers. And then there's also a form that you can fill out if you have a virtual center that you want to share on that website. You can fill out that Google form, give us the link, and we'll get you featured on our website. There's also a page on how to. So if you don't know how to set up a virtual site, I would suggest you check that out. I've got a lot of YouTube videos connected there that can show you how to do Bitmojis, how to set up your virtual site, and how to share that and how to use it with your students and your families. So without further ado, I will introduce Amanda Hirtz. Amanda is the Youth Service Center Coordinator at Owensboro Innovation Middle School in Owensboro. And she's going to be talking with you guys about the Leading Ladies and Boys to Young Men programs that she has going on in her school. And Amanda, I'm going to ask you to introduce your colleague there with you all, and I appreciate you all being safe with your masks. Thank you for that. Mask Up Kentucky. And so I'll have you introduce your co-teacher there with you, and we'll turn it over to you. And once they finish sharing information, we'll have some time for some breakout discussions. So we'll put you guys into breakout rooms once they're done, so you all can share with each other. All right, great. Amanda, I'll turn it over to you guys.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Hirtz. I am the Youth Service Coordinator here at Owensboro Innovation Middle School. We are a project-based learning school, and this is our second year being a project-based learning school. And so our school has gone through a lot of transitions over the last 3 to 5 years, and nothing has ever been the same. And with COVID, it's really not the same. And so this is Cameron Kelly, and Cameron is our instructional assistant here at iMiddle. And he also coaches for our middle school football team and does a lot of stuff for our school all the way around. And so when I came on board about 3 years ago, I asked Cameron if he would be interested in doing the Boys to Young Men for our school. Now, our school used to do Boys to Young Men during the school day, but we changed. At the time we had a 5th and 6th grade, and so when I came on board, I talked with our principal and decided that I wanted to do it as an after-school club to extend it longer. And so Cameron took over Boys to Young Men, and I did Leading Ladies, and they are both considered extracurricular activities designed to enhance self-esteem, leadership skills, and to teach the importance of serving others through community service. And so our first year, we kind of followed the Boys to Young Men curriculum at the beginning. And when they had Boys to Young Men, they would do a book. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's manual to manhood. If you guys do not have, you are teaching or working in the school with 4th through 10th grade, it's really, really good. It hits all levels. Cameron's actually going to talk to the boys today about girls, and he's this book. They also have a middle school version, kind of like a manhood light version, diet version. It has a lot of great detail. And this is if you have like those 4th and 5th graders going into middle school. It has some kind of tones it down a little bit for them. But a girl, so this is all from Jonathan Catherine and his wife Erica. The girls, they have a version. So it's the Girl's Guide to Conquering Life. And so this is what I based my Leading Ladies off of. And the first year of Leading Ladies was actually called Golden Girls. And we had about 8 participants. And then last year we changed it to Leading Ladies, and we went up to about 30 participants. So I guess the name in it really impacts whether or not students want to join. But, and then the Boys to Young Men was named after the previous coordinator, named it after the 80s, 90s band, Boys to Men. So, and then there's at our elementary schools, they have kind of incorporated these. There's some that call it Guys with Ties, Girls with Pearls. So you can name it however you want to name it. It's all kind of about the same. So before COVID, which I like to refer as BC sometimes, everything took place around about 45 to 60 minutes. We had it scheduled for, it was scheduled around the school buses so that we made sure that when our students had ESS and the buses ran, that it would be transportation for them to go home. They can join Leading Ladies or Boys to Young Men for that. So that's how we do our scheduling here. I think we kind of mixed it up based on schedules. If we did it the same day, we both did it on a Monday or a Wednesday. And it kind of, Cameron has done some intramurals or helped out with intramurals. And do you want to talk about like switching the intramurals and Boys to Young Men and how you divided that a little bit?
So with that, the intramurals, I mainly wanted to stay with teamwork and sports activities with it. And being a football coach, sports goes into a lot of things that I teach. And so when it goes to Boys and Young Men, I try to use sports in life instead of just leadership qualities or team qualities and from intramurals.
Yeah, we found out our first year it was set up to where Boys to Young Men and intramurals were on opposite days. And so there was a high turnout for both of them. And then last year we did Boys to Young Men was on the same day as intramurals. And so there was like a lower attendance. So just something, again, with planning. And then also Cameron was able to like take them into intramurals and kind of tie that into his programs too. So each week we have like a certain theme and we try to stay the same for most of them. and just kind of work with that. And then we've had hygiene. And so we painted nails, but Cameron has taught the boys how to shave.
Balloon popping, but it was a lot of fun. Kids, just lather up the balloon, let them learn the proper strokes, I guess you could say, and they had a lot of fun with that.
The girls, we talked about like making sure your nails are clean, because sometimes they have like long nails or they're straggly and stuff, and making sure that those are clean. Which I should probably touch base on that this week or sometime soon, since they're coming back to school. So we also talked about fashion, and so I think with both of them, we taught them how to iron.
Yes.
Taught
them how to iron, taught them how to fold.
Taught them how to fold clothes. Trying to like look appropriate. You don't want your cleavage showing. You don't want your belly showing. Pull up your pants, stuff like that. But with the boys' young men, Cameron, we have a bunch of ties that Cameron helps teach them how to tie a tie.
Yes, that aspect of it, they felt like they were grown-ups tying ties. They were so happy with that.
The funeral home, we have a teacher here whose family member works at a funeral home, and they donated a bunch of ties, so we had those cleaned. And we have so many that Cameron lets them pick them out, yeah, and then
take some home.
Yeah. So that's they get to learn it, and then they get to take it home. And that's a lot of the stuff that we give them. Like when we did fashion, we also taught them how to sew a button, and so they got to take that home. They got a little sewing kit, like the sewing kits you can keep in your purse. They were able to take those home. So that was good. We talked about entrepreneurship. We have a mobile boutique here in Owensboro. She's actually my cousin, so Bar Bones, and we'll put in a plug for her. But she brought the bus out and talked to girls about entrepreneurship. So she was able to talk about starting your own business, how to go from like picking up the name and the logo. And then the girls were able to check out the mobile boutique. And that was really neat. And I think we're gonna try to do something like that with a food truck, because you're not having to take them on a field trip, like the field trip's coming to you. So that's pretty cool. And then community service, we try to team up with these. We've done a rake and run, and then we also included our student council and some other school clubs here. And we're here most of the time, so we live, I guess, here. But our school across the street, it's in a pretty residential neighborhood, so it's a two-way street, and there's a bunch of trees in our area. And so, and we're also prone to flooding when the gutters get clogged. So we raked up the neighbors' yards across the street. We've had Sparky Animal Rescue come in, and they talked about just like the importance of taking care of animals and what kind of goes into animal care. And then we did a coin drive to go for Sparky Rescue. That unfortunately was around the time of COVID started, and because it was in March. Our goal, and if Sparky does it again, is to do another coin drive, because the girls can then take that money to the Sparky Spring fundraiser, and it's like a fashion walk for pets, so it's kind of cute. So we're hoping that we can team up with them again if they do that again this year. And then do you want to talk about the preschool, because that was my favorite?
Yes. So our boys last year to the preschool, and they got to sit in the classrooms and read books to the kids and interact with the kids, and just have a lot of fun with it. We also, afterwards, we ended up taking them to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we had a lesson about restaurant etiquette and how to order your food and how to, use your silverware properly. And so they got to use those lessons in that as well. They had a lot of fun with it. We're hoping to do it again this year if everything goes accordingly. Yeah.
And then career exploration. So the youth service centers, our component, one of them is career exploration. And so I try to tie into a component. We hit a component each month, so that we're following that. And then with the career exploration, there was National Women's and Girls in Sports Day. And we have Brusha University and KWC here, Kentucky Wesleyan College here in Owensboro. And so I sent them an email inviting their female athletic programs to come, and we kind of had a little meet and greet where the female athletes could come talk to the girls. We had like little chips, dips, cookies, some little snacks for them after school. But they had the opportunity to talk to the female athletes about college life, and a lot of it was not about, their sports, but how is it going to college? What is it like living in a dorm? Do they get to, do they have detention? That was funny. Like, do they have a dress code? So some of those questions that they were able to ask the college athletes is really good. Cameron's had KWC come in a couple of times.
Yes, I've also had a few people. I'd ask the kids, what's something you want to do when you grow up, and a lot of them give, doctor or whatever, and I would have someone from that field try to come in and talk to them and explain to them, how they got to that level, what it took to get here. I also had a couple friends of mine. One was a real estate agent and he's a lineman for the electrician company around here. And just giving them other trades that they can do in life. And sometimes a lot of kids don't want to go to college. They don't know if it's for them, but these are the opportunities that you can do without actually going to college.
And then our last one that we have on our list for what we did before COVID was we always try to cook Christmas cooking lesson. And we kind of give the choice for the kids.
Yeah.
And so mine, because of how many I had, I gave them an option, and one of them was Christmas cookies. So they decorated Christmas, but Cameron's boys were a little bit smaller.
My boys wanted tacos after school, and that was a mess. They learned how to do it.
It was fun, but they had a blast with all that.
Absolutely.
The first year we tried to do, or the year before that, we tried to do breakfast.
Yeah.
And we brought in a bunch of stuff, but we blew a circuit 2 or 3 times, and
Didn't go as planned.
Yeah. So, but things have changed. Obviously, we do really enjoy doing these programs with the kids, and so it's with COVID, things have kind of broken our hearts a little bit that we're not able to do what we did with them before. And so all of it's now we do is adapting, and like, how are we adapting to provide this outlet for the kiddos? And I talked with our principal, and he was on board. Our schedule right now is hybrid, and so we have students that attend an AB schedule and virtual. So AB, they have on A's, they come on Monday and Tuesday. Every student is off on Wednesday there's no live instruction on Wednesday. And then B students come in on Thursday and Friday. And then our virtual students have instruction Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So Wednesday is pretty much the day that I do all of my youth service activities for my center. And so we know that middle schoolers don't want to wake up really early. And so we do our leading ladies and our boys to young men on Google Meet. So we have that around noon on Wednesdays, and then Cameron does his after at 1:30. It's a public link because if we set it up we have a Google Classroom for each group, but we made it a public link so that our guest speakers can come and join us. If they had through Google Classroom, there are some settings on there that wouldn't allow outside individuals to join. So we have a public link for our guest speakers, and it's really been working pretty well. We have had our first 2 guest speakers. It was on the same day. We invited our board members. So we I have one female board member right now, Miss Decker, and then we have 4 male board members, however many. And one just came. There was only one male board member that came. And anyways, they asked to come to the school, and that's one thing that we do. We give them the option if they're going to be our guest speaker, if they want to participate with us virtually, or if they want to come to the school and then us set up all the technology for them. And that went really well. It gave the kids an opportunity to learn about how to make decisions in a group setting. That's something that we do with project-based learning a lot. They have to learn how to work with others. a skill that we all know that we need from time to time. And so that was something that our board members really liked. So I will suggest that if you do a Leading Ladies or a Boys to Young Men type program, invite your board members to come as guest speakers, because it makes it look good for your center when they have to present for the meetings, and kind of helps advocate for what you're doing in your center. But also it gives those kids a connection that this is who's making our decisions. And right now, our board members all across the state are making lots of decisions about whether or not we're going to school and what's our school schedule going to be like. So I think it was really great for them to put a face with a name. And then we promote ours through just kind of word of mouth. I think we've had more attendance coming in the last couple of weeks since we started our AB schedule. Our teachers promote it. They kind of know what kind of programs and stuff we're doing now, since this is our year 3. And our biggest thing is that like Cameron, with the Boys to Young Men, knowing of which day is better with like football schedules and intramurals and stuff, like what day is better, we kind of figure that out. And then with mine, knowing how like you change the name from Golden Girls to Leading Ladies makes an impact too. But with all of COVID, we had a pretty good core number of students coming in, and then with COVID, even doing this virtually, our attendance has gone down. And so we're struggling to reach out to those kids and encourage them to get back on. We know it's hard. They've been on Google Meet classes forever, and they get one day off. They may not want to come and look at our faces, but we are still trying to do that. So I just say that if you have low participation, don't get discouraged. Just keep on trucking, and then hopefully it will continue to move on up. Let's see, what else have we had? You want to talk about your Kobe Bryant video?
Yeah, so one of the first few meetings I had with him, I showed him a video of, it was Kobe Bryant and Nick Saban talking. And as I said, I was a sports guy. I relate a lot of things to sports, and but with it, it was them talking about excellence, and not just excellence in sports, but in everything you try to do in life, and try to do everything you can to the best of your ability, and understanding what it takes to do these things. Sometimes you have to edit your life and do things you might not get to hang out with your friend as much if you want to do this, and they listened to it, and they took certain things from it. And a few of those kids that I have are on the football team, but they would come during practice and ask just different questions of, I don't know, I'm in middle school, I don't know what I want to do. And I tell them that's fine. You have time to grow. I'm 27 years old, and what I want to do changes all the time. So just trying to give them a perspective to just help them understand that just try to do everything you can to the best of your ability. And that was big for me.
I think the boys connecting with those videos, because we didn't do any videos the last 2 years that we've been meeting. And so finding those short videos for kids to watch and use those as conversation sparks has really kind of helped us a little bit with transitioning to this virtual world that we're trying to incorporate in our programs. I know we talked about our entrepreneurs and having people coming in, and we try to get those who are younger. So if you have a young chamber of professionals, you can reach out to them, or your Chamber of Commerce, you can reach out to them and see if they have some young professionals that want to join. We both graduated from the best high school in the state, Owensboro High School. So we try to pull in some OPS alumni, and that just gives that little connection for kids to say, oh, they're a little bit older, but they walk the same hallways that I did. So give them a little bit of that connection. And we have a mom. She graduated 2 years ahead of me, but she has her own snow cone business. She works at one of the banks here, and then in the summer she has her own snow cone business, and it's in a neighborhood in a location where all the kids see the pinky snow cone truck And so she came on last week and talked about investment, and the girls are like, hey, is it open? Because she only keeps hers open seasonal for the summer. She was like, no, but once it's open, you know, you guys should come down. So having that connection back to your schools, your school district, having that connection to your community, I think really helps when the kids to have them connect to. And, you know, it's pretty easy right now. And it's, you'll be surprised if you ask somebody to come and talk to your group of kiddos, especially now that it's virtual, they'll be willing to make it happen because they don't have to take off of work. Ours are during our lunch hours. So those are pretty easy for other people to come and join. So just, you don't know if you don't try. So just ask if you have any questions. And if you are interested in somebody else coming to talk, just ask them, and I'm sure that they'll be willing to help you out. So we're going to wrap it up. We have our goals, and some of the topics that we have coming up is Veterans Day. We're each going to have a male and a female veteran to come and talk because that falls on a Wednesday. We're also going to try to do our holiday food drive. That's usually done by the student council, but we don't have one this year. So for our community service, Cameron and I are going to take that over for our school. The UK Extension Office helps with, they do a food program, a cooking class. They did it for our virtual summer camp, middle school summer camp that we had over the summer. And so they will help do a virtual cooking class. So if you guys are interested, the UK Extension Office in your areas may be able to help with that. The positive body image, which we know that a lot of middle schoolers, both girls and boys, are affected by that. We're going to talk about that with the Aubrey Song Foundation. And then hopefully our goal is after Christmas, we can start having the kids back and doing after school programs like we did in the past. So thank you all for listening. If you guys have any information or any questions, any more information, you can send me an email. And it's Amanda.Hirtz, Hirtz, at owensboro.kyschools.us. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for sharing that information. And Amanda and Cameron, can you tell me your last name? I didn't catch your last name before, and I want to make sure we give credit.
My last name is Kelly.
Kelly. All right, great. Thank you so much for sharing.
No problem.
I mean, that's really cool information to have, and great life skills that you're sharing, you know, with those students at an age when they need to start learning that stuff. So I certainly appreciate that. I don't see any questions in the chat. Let me scroll back up here and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I don't have any questions in the chat.
Amanda, Cameron, I have a question for you. So when you do meet on your Wednesdays, so what does it look like?
Chaos.
Pardon?
Chaos. It looks like chaos.
I mean, they are middle school students, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's yeah.
They're used to Google Meet, so if like we have any tech issues, they're like, "Hey, try this, try this."
Yeah, they know more than we do most of the time.
So it's really easy for them. They have the link. We just log on. We do have some that like to talk a lot and don't like to give others the opportunity to share. So I'm trying to click them on mute, you know, as quick as possible without hurting their feelings. But it's kind of like a normal classroom, a normal class that they would have. We have open discussion. It's on Google Meet. Sometimes we're able to present like the videos or different things, but it's very much kind of set up of how they have their normal classes.
And somebody has asked in the chat, Cameron, if you would mind sharing your email address.
Yes, it is Cameron.Kelly, Kelly, at owensboro.kyschools.us.
Perfect. And I will say that Amanda and Cameron provided me with a document I've got it already up in the classroom that has lots of information, lots of the resources that they've shared here today is in that document, and a link to their virtual center as well. So I'm sure there's links to the books and stuff there for folks to follow up on if they would like to. Okay, so we have some time if I don't have any other questions. Let me check just one more time in the chat. Looks like that was it. Okay, great. So we're going to have some good time for breakout sessions for you guys. And I know that this is something that's helpful for you all to be able to share with your colleagues in a smaller group setting. Before we send you all out to breakouts, though, I am going to share the link to the exit slip, because I know sometimes you get in your breakout rooms and you don't come back to this main room, and I don't want to miss getting some feedback from you all. So in the chat, I am going to put the link to what we call our exit slip. And this is it's the same one that was used previously if you've been to another one of our webinars. It's just a really quick Google form so we can get some information back from you to make sure we're bringing you the topics that are important to you all. We don't want to assume that we know what you all want to hear about. So if you wouldn't mind to take literally it's like 2 minutes to fill that out for us, we would really appreciate the feedback. So I've put that into the chat, the link there for you all. But Greg, looks like you're going to have to be doing the breakout rooms for us today. So I'm going to turn it over to Greg, let him get those breakout rooms set up for you guys. And thank you all so much for joining us. And if you have any questions or need any help, we'll be hanging out here in the main room for you guys if you need anything once you get over into your breakout rooms.
Right, super. So we do have the breakout rooms ready. There's going to be 3 rooms, about 7-8 people in each room. We're going to send you out for just a little bit over 15 minutes. So there will be 2 breakout groups. We'll reshuffle once in the middle, so that if you come up with some great ideas in one of your groups, you might want to share those with a little bit wider audience. There will be a 60-second countdown at the end of each breakout. So just look for the little messages at the top. And really, we're leaving this open-ended for you all. Really want you to just focus on things that you have been trying, maybe things from these webinars. Maybe you've watched the Google Classroom or the Bitmoji Classroom and have set up some, but things that you have found that are working. And at the same time, if you've got struggles, put those out there, and maybe people can offer some suggestions of what either they have tried and seen working, or that they've gotten some great ideas and they can't wait to make them a reality. So
another thing too, I will say, Greg, this time of year, you guys might consider sharing some of your holiday program information too. So.
Okay, so roughly right around 17, 18 minutes or so. And then with folks that we still have here, we will reshuffle again. And if you have any tech problems, don't hesitate to bounce back or invite me into your room, and we'll handle that. All right, everybody. Thanks again, Amanda and Cameron. And we're going to shuffle you off right now.